Hello, friends, and welcome into Day 2 of NBA Free Agency. I am Tom Downey. That is Harrison Graham. A lot of stuff went down last night and late last night, Harrison.
Yeah, lots of deals happening past the hour of midnight after some of our coverage. And just craziest day one, I think, in the history of free agency in the NBA. I think there's no doubt about that.
Not really sure what's going on. Everyone's typing in Cal right now in the comment section. No idea what's happening. But we'll start with the Golden State Warriors. They are acquiring D'Angelo Russell in a sign-and trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Also, shout out Ryan Windhorst. I was wrong. You were right. Because this actually did go down. I didn't believe it.
When I did my video on possible destinations for D'Angelo Russell, I did 10 teams. The Golden State Warriors were not one of those 10 teams. Nope. So good work for the Warriors and Bob Myers. Little skeptical about the actual fit on the floor, considering he's a high-volume pick-and-roll player. Warriors don't really play big, so we'll kind of see how the fit works. But they needed scoring with losing Durant and especially Klay Thompson not going to be back until the back part of next season.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for this upcoming season. Like, you're going to lose Kevin Durant, but to get a sign-and trade for D'Angelo Russell, you got something back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, Steph Curry is going to score a lot. Draymond Green, not much of a scorer. The rest of this roster, there's not a lot of scoring punch there. So bringing in D'Lo, it also allows Steph Curry to play off the ball a little bit, helps with that playmaking capability. So overall, this is pretty good work from Bob Myers and the Warriors, knowing full well they were going to lose Kevin Durant.
Yeah, so to get a player of that caliber, now maybe D'Angelo Russell down the road does end up getting shopped again. I think that's maybe a possibility because, look, this squad does get really expensive with D'Lo, with Klay Thompson, with Steph Curry, and of course we assume Draymond Green there as well. So here's the sign and trade, the exact details. Brooklyn gets Kevin Durant. The Warriors get D'Angelo Russell, Shabazz Napier, and Trayvon Graham as well.
Yeah, and you have to fill out your roster, so we'll see. Those are non-guaranteed contracts. We'll see if they're a part of their final roster there, but obviously Golden State getting a couple of throw-in players back as well. And I think more significant, Tom, the trade to move Andre Iguodala's contract to Memphis to help create space and bring back D'Angelo Russell. That was the key for Golden State because they were going to either have to move his deal or Draymond Green's. Iggy being the older player, I think that was the way to go there.
Sean Livingston also likely on his way out. I think he's just going to end up retiring, calling it a career.
That rumor had kind of been floating out there toward the end of the season. I think he is likely going to be done. He's not going to play for another team at this point, so if the Warriors move on, I think that's the end of his career.
Talk more about Iggy a little bit later on here because we don't quite know what his future necessarily holds. Yeah. Maybe he does stick with Grizzlies because they've got like this weird bunch of young guys, then all super old vets there.
Kyle Korver in the mix as well.
Yeah,
I would look into them buying him out possibly.
Yeah. All right, so D'Angelo Russell again heading over to the Golden State Warriors. Well, he'll play some off-ball, he'll play some on-ball there. This means a less of an immediate role for players like a Jordan Poole, like a Jacob Evans, because they have D'Angelo Russell there. Helps them out in a big way.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that.
All right, folks, grade the D'Angelo Russell signing here. Let us know A, B, C, D, or F. Grade it in the comment section here. We'll give some shout-outs here on there as well. What do you give it, Harrison?
I give it a B. It's an A in terms of they needed to fill a clear gap in their lack of scoring after not having Durant back, and obviously Klay Thompson, we'll see when he comes back. Can't give it an A, though, because I don't love the fit personally. Obviously, we'll see how it plays out, so I think it's a solid B here. I think it's good work.
I'm actually going to give it an A. I do have some concerns about the fit, the defense, and the guard position, because neither D'Lo
that too,
or
we haven't
Steph
even
Curry
talked about that.
Are going to be great players, but it also comes down to me of it was D'Angelo Russell or nobody.
Yeah.
Like, there was no other money, there was no other ways to make that work out in the end. So, from that perspective, to get something, I'm actually going to end up giving it an A there.
Fair enough.
All right, folks, speaking of the Warriors, Klay Thompson, he is going to head back to Golden State, did agree to that $190 million max contract. A future three-guard lineup with Steph, D'Angelo Russell, and Klay Thompson there. This was not a huge surprise to take a little bit longer. I think we know why, because Golden State was working the back channels there to potentially work out a deal to get Klay Thompson, or to get D'Angelo Russell there.
Yeah, and this is kind of what it's looking like when both D'Lo and Klay are healthy, assuming, of course, they don't trade D'Angelo Russell, which could be a possibility if the fit does not work. Obviously, you have D'Lo, Steph, and Klay. You keep Draymond at the 4. Right now, Damian Jones penciled in as that center. I would look for the Warriors to get active on the mid-level center market, perhaps. Maybe they bring back a JaVale McGee type player, bring back Kevon Looney. But right now, that's kind of what it would look like. I'm interested to see how that three-guard lineup plays out because you're definitely
it's kind of a weird fit.
You're undersized in the backcourt, especially from a defensive standpoint, and that puts a lot more pressure on Klay Thompson, even more so than in the past from a defensive standpoint.
Again, for this current year, makes sense to keep D'Angelo Russell. Beyond that, maybe things do change there. Curry, D'Angelo, Draymond. We'll throw Damian Jones in there right now. I don't know who that extra starter is, frankly.
I mean, Alfonso McKinney, perhaps, who's on the roster. Otherwise, enter XYZ veteran free agent.
Do you experiment with the three-guard lineup more this year of throwing in a Jordan Poole or Jacob Evans? I don't know.
From day one, I don't think you want Jordan Poole or Jacob Evans starting.
Probably not.
But they're going to be limited on their options there. There's no doubt.
All right, folks. So, again, Thompson going back to the Golden State Warriors. Of course, he's going to miss most, if not all, of this upcoming season with that torn ACL. Some other re-signings here. Patrick Beverley, long been linked to the Dallas Mavericks, the Bulls, others, ends up going back to the Clippers on a 3-year, $40 million deal.
A little bit surprised here, not that he's back, but that he's back this soon, that on day one of free agency, he makes a decision. Obviously, the Mavericks were very interested in his service. We'll get to them a little bit later. What a disaster the past 24 hours for the Mavs has been. But he wanted that 3-year, $40 million. That was the range that him and his agent floated out there. He gets it with the Clippers. Interested to see how this impacts Kawhi Leonard's decision, if at all.
Yeah, Beverley going back, I think this was the Clippers, knowing that they missed out on their dream scenario of pairing Kawhi with a Durant or Butler. Once that went down, and they went, okay, next best plan, let's go get Patrick.
Let's bring back what we know. Yep. He's a tenacious defender. He brings leadership and edginess. I think more than anything, the style of his play, not even just from a statistical standpoint, but just the edge he offers to a team. Remember, they challenged Golden State in a major way in the first round last year. So bringing him back, he's a glue guy for them. I like this for the Clippers.
Yeah, so Clippers re-signing Patrick Beverley. He'll help out there with that. Maybe he starts a little bit more. He wanted to get paid. I heard there was buzz. Dallas thought they can get him for under 3 years, 40, and the Clippers kind of upped that offer in the end.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that was a big factor there. So Beverley going back to the Clippers here on a 3-year, $40 million deal. Also, folks, use an emoji. React to the free agency chaos so far because it has been off the chain there for the past 24-ish hours. Man, it's maybe not 24, but in that range.
Which emoji would you put for free
do you know
agency
like
so
the
far?
screaming ghost face one? That one.
That's a good one.
The one for
I
me.
might have to go with that one.
That one, Gab.
There it is.
Gab has it.
Shout out Gab there. Snake. There's some snakes in there. Durant going to
Snake,
Brooklyn.
always a good emoji there. Also, I did see some of the Warriors fans were upset that Durant left, and I'm kind of like, you guys don't get to be upset.
You got 3 years. You got 2 titles out of it. You probably would have had a third if he stayed healthy. Like, there's worse things.
It's not a big thing there. Other emojis I see coming in, I see a lot of like man faces, like just like the flat line emoji, which I guess makes sense, especially if you're a Mavs fan, because I don't really know how bad it's gotten there in the end.
It's brutal if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan.
Brutal, folks. All right, folks, let's move to Kawhi Leonard. Contrary to what some of you are throwing in the chat, your fake news, Kawhi has not picked a destination yet. He is the last of the notable free agents out there in terms of like the big-name guys. It's the Raptors, Clippers, and Lakers. Those are the only 3 teams in the mix. The Knicks have signed other players. We'll get to them later. They don't have the money now.
Technically, the Mavs have the money, but that's not going to happen. So it's going to be LA or Toronto for Kawhi. When I say LA, I mean either the Lakers or the Clippers. I still think the best route for Kawhi is go back to Toronto on a 2-year deal with a player option on the 2nd year. I don't think Brooklyn's going to be a major factor this year because I don't think Durant plays this upcoming season.
Yep.
So clearly Toronto is the team to beat out East, along with the Bucks. I think did a good job yesterday of bringing back their core for the most part. Run it back for 1 more year, then hit the market again next year. You'll clearly be the guy next free agency as next year's class is much weaker.
Someone actually multiple teams are going to end up disappointed because there could only be one. There's one more big guy. So if the Lakers get Kawhi, they're huge winners. If not, actually a lot of the role players they could have targeted are also off the market there. If the Clippers miss on Kawhi, it's just kind of rolling back the same squad that they had last year. And if the Raptors miss on Kawhi, I mean, in the end, it's okay because they won.
Yeah.
But they don't have the money to add anybody else.
If they lose Kawhi, it's officially building around Pascal Siakam.
They probably end up losing Danny Green there as well. So again, here are the teams, folks, with $15+ million in cap space. The Clippers, the Lakers, and the Dallas Mavericks. They can get to 32 if they like stretch wave Courtney Lee. So that's a possibility.
Yeah, they can get
there.
close to 37 if they waive Courtney Lee.
And I'll make note, you don't see the Raptors on there, but the Raptors can go over the cap to re-sign Kawhi. That's why they can't go out and throw big money elsewhere.
Yeah,
they can also re-sign.
It was similar to the Nuggets with the Paul Millsap deal.
Yes.
So keeping him at $30 million sounds like a lot, but they could only get to like $17 million in cap space.
Or the Bucks as well as a possibility there. So Kawhi, that's the latest on that front. Sounds like he's not going to take meetings either.
No, this is very.
We've been all over the place, by the way, in terms of like the Kawhi meeting or
I
no
view
meeting.
Kawhi like hanging out like in Arizona somewhere, just by himself, drinking some coffee, just watching this all play out.
Is Kawhi a coffee drinker though? I kind of thought he was more of like a motor oil type guy.
Coffee, but no milk, no creamer, just black. Just
coffee?
yeah,
Okay.
that's classic Kawhi. Which team is he going to sign with? Type TOR for the Raptors, LAC for the Clippers, LAL for the Lakers. I've made my pitch. I think short term on the Raptors makes the most sense.
I've long thought it was Toronto there, but look, the Lakers think they're going to get him.
Clearly.
Like, the Lakers are wholly convinced they have Kawhi in the bag and they're going to sign him.
Which would you like to see? Not what you think. What would you like to see?
I like more parity, and I think more parity is in favor of going back to Toronto.
Toronto or the Clippers is more parity.
Nah, I don't care about the Clippers.
We don't care
Toronto.
about the Clippers.
Run it back there again is my main point there.
Go back, Kawhi.
All right, we mentioned this earlier. The Dallas Mavericks are just all over the place right now. They've apparently punted on a Goran Dragić deal here, Harrison. So what the hell's going on in Dallas?
So a lot of confusion here. There was an apparent agreement for a 3-team trade involving the Heat and the Sixers, where creating space for the Heat to sign Jimmy Butler, of course. Mavs backed out. Instead of Dragic, they wanted Kelly Olynyk and Derrick Jones Jr. That deal fell apart, as you guys can see on the screen right there. But if you're the Mavericks, the reason they backed out apparently, one, they don't like the $19 million salary for Dragic. Don't really know why. Everybody else is signing. You have $30 million in cap space. Two, I think the report was they have something else up their sleeves.
There was nothing else.
Pat Beverley's gone now, so if you're Mark Cuban, don't you just call Miami back and say, hey, y'all still have to dump Dragic. We'll take him now.
Look, the Mavs just absolutely tanked deal or no deal is what happened here. Like, they're sitting there like they got like, okay, we got like the 100K out still on there, so we'll hold off. And they end up having like 25K. Like, okay, we still have the 100K. We still have the 100K. Oh, it's gone. Oh, wait, there goes the 50K. Shoot, we only have 5K in the bank.
Your offer's 4.5. Yeah,
and it just plummeted hard. I'll save my Mavs rant for later, but this has been a colossal failure.
Yeah, I mean, if day one losers, the Mavs are as close to the top of the list as it gets, along with the Knicks. I mean, yes, you signed Kristaps Porzingis, but that was a foregone conclusion. Like, that's not something new. Like, it's a new player they'll have because he didn't play last year, but as soon as they traded for him, that was a done deal. So I think if you're Cuban, you got to get back involved with the Heat and try and get Goran Dragić on board.
It's been a just cluster so far for Dallas. It also has now thrown the Miami Heat into doubt, where they need to find a new third team. But Harrison, wow, that's bad. Harrison, you and I think are on the same page here. They have to go back to Dallas in the end.
Yeah,
there's nobody else.
Yeah, I mean, you could search for a new team, but which teams could take on that contract? Not many, and the Lakers could. Like, if the Lakers find out they're not getting Kawhi, do you circle back to Goran Dragić? Do you want $19 million of that $32 to be Goran Dragić?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're Miami. So I think this deal, in the end, will get done. It's just, right now, it doesn't look good for the Mavs, and if you're Miami, you're in a bit of scramble mode because clearly you need Jimmy Butler because they are kind of their roster's in flux right now.
And if you're the Sixers even, like, you've operated on the assumption that we're getting Josh Richardson here in exchange for Jimmy Butler.
They're kind of just hanging out, too.
Everyone's just kind of waiting here on... In the end, I think it's Dallas. Like, you could go to the Clippers, too, but Dragić doesn't make any sense for them.
Cuban and Donnie and those boys, they need to regroup, wake up, get the coffee flowing, go get Goran Dragić, and then, you pair him with another piece. You can salvage this free agency if you're the Mavericks, but right now it's not looking good.
All right, folks, shout out your team. I'll go rapid fire here, giving some shout-outs to the ones that flow in. Pacers, Warriors, Hornets, Boston, Kings, Warriors, Celtics, Oklahoma, Pacers, Pistons, Suns, Lakers, Kings, Lakers, Cavs, Pacers, Grizzlies, Lakers, Sixers.
Lots of Pacers.
Yeah, go figure. It might be the same person. I can't read. It's going too fast. Cowboys, Cleveland, Grizzlies, Celtics, Hornets, Mavs, Boston, Lakers, Pistons, Mavs, Bulls, T-Wolves, LAL, Lakers, Barcelona. Ooh, that's a right one there. Suns with
Shout
a
out
Z.
Nico Mirotic.
Yeah, Sixers, Raptors, Jazz, Lakers, a disappointed Mavs fans.
Oh,
Kings,
man.
Sixers, Celtics, Lakers, Raptors, Grizzlies, Raptors, Nets, Suns, Spurs, Oklahoma City, Pacers, again, Warriors, Hornets, Mavs, Nets, Thunder, Grizzlies, Rockets, Warriors. Okay, that's all I got there.
We'll try to locate Jimmy for you guys. I don't know if he has surfaced today. It was a long night.
Sources tell me that Jimmy is somewhere in a gutter.
At all_things_Mavs on Twitter. He had a bit of a
by the way,
meltdown
I
last
did
night.
see all things Mavs in the chat on YouTube at one point though.
Oh, maybe he has surfaced.
I did see him briefly in there. Maybe that was him in his gutter stupor.
Probably battling that hangover right now.
Probably.
Is Jimmy Crowder.
Let's go back to the Mavs here then. How about Danny Green? Is he a possibility here for Dallas? It seems like, and I want to emphasize the seems part, because it also seemed like Dallas might get Kemba Walker, and they were going to get Patrick Beverley, and they were going to trade for Goran Dragić or Kelly Olynyk or somebody. But if Kawhi Leonard leaves, the Mavs are the favorite for Danny Green.
Yeah, Brian Windhorst reported that yesterday on The Jump, that the chatter is, again, seems, especially with the Mavs, you can't emphasize that enough, is if Kawhi leaves Toronto, the Mavs are the front runner for Danny Green. And look, the Mavs need shooting, and he was third in the NBA or second in the NBA in three-point shooting last year at 45.5%. Didn't shoot it quite as well in the playoffs, but look, veteran 3-and-D player. He's been a part of multiple championship teams. You know, if the Mavs added Danny Green, that would be a step in the right direction after a disastrous first day.
I think that's a big addition for Dallas. I also think the Lakers still make sense for Danny Green if they themselves miss out on Kawhi.
Yeah.
And Green says, I don't know if I want to go back to Toronto. I want to come back home and hang out with with my fellow Americans there. But for Dallas, if you can get Danny Green, I think that's a really, really good fit for you.
Yeah, and I mean, look, if you plug a lineup of Danny Green and Goran Dragić, again, let's circle back. Let's say if they add Dragić, if they add Danny Green, you got Dragić at the point.
Green's
you got
your two.
Danny Green at the 2. Luka's your 3. I put air quotes here because he's going to be your primary ball handler. Kristaps at the 4. You got Dwight Powell at the 5. I mean, that's I don't know where that gets you in the West, but that's a competitive starting 5 there.
Yeah, I think it's in the end, it's a hopeful playoff team there in the end for Dallas. Let's move to Houston then, where Clint Capella should be sticking around. He shouldn't be going anywhere here. Remember, the Rockets had deals in place for Capella, but those were all part of a grand plan to land Jimmy Butler, and he is set to join the Heat, so that's a no-go unless the Heat deal totally collapses, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think the Rockets were all in on Butler, so now that he is...
Butler or bust.
Which, by the way, can we discuss briefly, is Butler better than the trio of P.J. Tucker, Clint Capella, and Eric Gordon? I'm not convinced he is. I would rather have that trio, but the Rockets were hell-bent on it. They did not get it done, so it appears that Capella is going to stay. Also, Tim McMahon reported earlier today that they would be interested in Andre Iguodala if he becomes available on the buyout.
Well, I think literally everyone would want Iguodala. Like, he's perfect 6th, 7th man.
But if you're Houston, you add him to the core you already have. Could be worse.
I have a tough time seeing Iguodala going to Houston because I think he can get more money from somebody else. Other teams do have exactly. They could throw the MLE at Iguodala. And how fun it would be to have LeBron and Iggy playing side by side.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, be a fun squad there. All right, so Capella staying in Houston. There is not going to be a trade there unless something really, really crazy happens. I don't think we're going to have that go down.
Not enough teams have money at this point.
No,
I mean the team cap. Money has just dried up. I mean, we showed you guys earlier. There's only 4 teams with north of 10 mil at this point, and that includes the Knicks, who have 11. And then there's the Mavs, the Lakers, and Clippers with 30 plus. The rest of the teams do not have money, so that's kind of what you're looking at now. Capella, I think he stays in Houston.
All right, folks, type me in the comment section if you guys want a jersey. I saw some me's flow in earlier. I think they'll flow back in here again in just a second here. So type me if you guys want a jersey. Once we see enough of the me's, we'll tell you how you guys can get one. So Ron McPringle, great name. Epic Gamer, Joe, here they all come flowing in there. Retro, Luis, Malik, Rory, Big Z, Slater, Mr. AK, Maxi Fro, Luis again, Sherry, Tommy with 1 M. Weird, but okay there. Air Z, Costas, not the Antetokounmpo one, just normal Costas there. Tyler, Ryan, Jackie, Samuel, Alicia, Clay, Noah, all throwing in there with the me's. All right, folks, here's how you can get one. Head over to chatsports.com/NBA now and use promo code CHATNBA. That takes you to MyBookie. It gets you a 100% bonus. That's chatsports.com/NBA now. Use that promo code CHATNBA. So you put down $50. They're going to give you another $50 for free. And then once you sign up and deposit, place your first bet, you're going to text 972-885-06. Again, that's 972-885-0646. At chatsports.com/NBA now. Use promo code CHATNBA. That will get you a free image. So if you wanted maybe not an Andre Iguodala one, but if you wanted, maybe not a Goran Dragić Mavs jersey, but if you wanted a new jersey for your team, maybe you want a Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving Nets jersey there. Here's how you can get one. Again, that's chatsports.com/NBA now, promo code CHATNBA, and then you're going to text 972-885-0646. It's a great deal.
You can buy any NBA jersey right now. Who are you buying?
Jeez. I mean, I don't have a Jamal Murray one. He's my favorite 2K player, so probably that one.
Speaking of, he gets that extension
He
as well.
did get big bucks, which, I think was a
Nico Mirotic Barcelona jersey. Not sure you can get that in this,
we cannot. No, that does not exist.
Can't guarantee that, but man, I'm trying to think of like an obscure, like a D'Lo Warriors jersey or something. That's kind of weird now, but
it's a weird flex there, yeah.
Lots of players on the move. Again, go to MyBookie, get that free jersey today.
All right, folks. In the meantime, shout out your team. Let us know in the comment section here. We'll give some shout outs here as well. So shout out that team. Your favorite team
Mavs
in there.
fan is back.
Yeah, I understand. There Rockets. Let's see what else we got here. We'll phone here in a second. Celtics, Raptors, Lakers, OKC. A lot of Celtics in there. A lot of Lakers in there too. Pacers, Sixers, Detroit, Heat, Mavs, Pacers, Lakers, Raptors, Knicks, Celtics, Sixers, Celtics. A lot of Celtics this morning. It does make sense. It's 11 a.m. there on the East Coast. Easier there.
What do you think about what the Celtics have done so far? You get Kemba Walker. Obviously,
it's a good bounce back.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like Golden State, where it's probably a net negative overall, losing Horford and Kyrie for Kemba, but it's a good recovery. I think that's a fair way to put that there.
All right, folks, a lot of moves that we have not discussed that have happened over the past couple hours, so we'll break them all down here. Tomas Satoransky is going to the Chicago Bulls on a sign-and-trade deal here with the Washington Wizards. What do you think of this one?
I don't think much. I think the Bulls are in an interesting spot right now. They've got an interesting young core. You got Carter in there. You got Markkanen. Obviously, you drafted Kobe White, which I like. Not sure Satoransky is worth $30 million over 3 years, but a lot of those middle-tier teams in the NBA have to pay a certain amount of the salary cap. This is one of those moves for me. I'm not sure he's a huge impact guy. Obviously, a pretty good three-point shooter. Maybe a guy that comes off the bench and spaces the floor for you.
Yeah, I find it. The Bulls definitely wanted some more backup help at guard because they did not trust Chris Dunn.
Yeah, for good reason.
So it's an interesting idea there. They're giving up a 2020 second and a 2022 second there as well, and also some pick protections and swaps involved in there. But it's interesting. The Bulls are kind of going all in on winning right now, which I find also kind of curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're quite ready in win now mode.
All right, speaking of guards, Ish Smith is going to the Washington Wizards. He's going to start for them because they got nobody at point guard with John Wall hurt.
As much as I just bagged on the Bulls, the Wizards might be in the worst place you can be as far as the NBA goes.
Yep.
You've got a point guard, all-star point guard coming off an Achilles tear that they would probably like to move on from, but you're not going to get a good trade for him right now. His value's not high. You're kind of stuck with Bradley Beal. Do you move on from him at some point? Dwight Howard is still on that roster. The Wizards are in for a long rebuild, and it's coming pretty soon.
Now, I will make note, I actually like this deal a lot more than, like, the Terry Rozier deal, where, like, yes, you have a new point guard, and he's cheap.
Yeah.
Like, you're not throwing big money and tying yourself to a mediocre player.
Yeah, Ish Smith, $6 million per year is better than Rozier for $19 a year.
All right, this one was a trade technically, but we made note that the Utah Jazz needed to get rid of Derrick Favors if they wanted to sign Bojan Bogdanovic, and they have. They've shipped Favors over to the New Orleans Pelicans, getting back a 2021 and 2022 third, which is a part of a previous trade from the Golden State Warriors.
I love what both of these teams are doing. From the Pelicans side of view, look, you've had a great couple of months here. You win the draft lottery, you get Zion. Obviously, you add Derrick Favors, J.J. Redick. I love that signing for them. That's an exciting young core, building around Drew Holiday as well over in New Orleans. And obviously on the Jazz side of thing, I'm a big fan of the roster they've got right now. You get Conley in a trade. Obviously, you get Bogdanovich as well. So kudos to both squads there. I like that Favors pickup for New Orleans.
I like getting Ed Davis. We'll get to him more in a little bit, but I thought that was a really good pickup there by the Jazz.
Yeah.
Head over down to the Sacramento Kings. They've also picked up Cory Joseph on 3 years, $37 million. It could be worse, but the Kings are just picking up all these kind of average role bench players.
I like what the Kings have done. I don't like this one specifically, though. Cory Joseph, not a great shooter. He's kind of mastered the getting paid more than I should role in the NBA, despite not being a great three-point shooter.
Respect there.
Yeah, he's made a good amount of money. I don't love the Dedmon sign. Kind of a mixed bag for the Kings because I love the Ariza move. I like the Barnes move because it's front-loaded. So, toward the end of that deal, he's not counting that much against you. And we'll see what happens with Cauley-Stein. But, look, Sacramento's Sacramento. They're people who are upset that they're not getting, better players, reality check time. It's the Sacramento Kings.
I'll make note, Joseph, Dedmon, and not Barnes, Ariza, the last years of those deals are not fully guaranteed.
Yeah, smart move
is
there.
Their typical
Protects
MO there.
themselves.
All right, speaking of Kings here, who's your favorite King? Let us know in the comments section. Harrison, who's your favorite King?
Oh, man. LeBron.
Okay, that's a fair answer there. I'll tell you who's not my favorite King. George. There you go. Oh, good callback there from Mitchell Wren. Says Burger. Also,
Burger King, aka trash. Not very good. Not a big Burger King.
A lot of
guy.
people throwing in Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox,
Los Angeles Kings,
Stojakovic. That's a good pick there. Chris Jones, another good one. Martin Luther, always a smart answer.
Love Buddy Hield. If we're talking
That's
about
fun.
the current Kings.
Yeah. Harrison Barnes. Let's see what else we got here. Stojakovic again. Buddy, a very common one there. And then De'Aaron Fox seems to be the favorite one there. Also, someone said Taco Bell, not a King, though.
Like Taco Bell, but yes, they don't quite fall into that King
you're right.
category.
Producer Brett's right. You can't say the T word. That's right. I'm sorry.
True.
Sorry, I failed there.
Breaking the rules.
Let's move then to the New York Knicks, as they've spent lots of money here that they had available. Almost all these on 2-year deals, by the way. First up, Wayne Ellington. Again, he comes over to the New York Knicks there on a multi-year deal. And then Bobby Portis as well.
Yeah, 2 year 16 for Ellington, 2 year 31 for Portis. Look, the Knicks, it's not going as planned. The report comes out they didn't want to give Durant the max. Shout out James Dolan for being a moron. But I'll give him credit for this. At least you bring in Julius Randle. You bring in a bunch of guys on 2-year deals, which makes sense because next year's free agency class is not good. It sets you up 2 years from now to, attack the market again.
Into it.
But as history shows,
They're not gonna get anybody.
They're not a destination. I think that lure of playing at the Garden is the most overrated thing in sports, and the Knicks are trying to salvage it by signing a bunch of mid-tier type of players like the Reggie Bullocks of the world, like the Wayne Ellingtons of the world. And while these are players that really the Lakers would like to add to build around superstars already in place.
Yeah, so what basically has happened here is the Brooklyn Nets got what the Knicks wanted to do, and then the Knicks got what the Lakers should have done if they had missed on Kawhi, which they might end up doing. Role players.
But if you're the Lakers, you have to wait for Kawhi.
Yeah, you have to try.
You have no choice.
If you think you're going to get him, you have to wait, although you might not.
In the end, it might burn you, but what else are you going to do?
And they also waived Lance Thomas. They dumped guys like Isaiah Hicks, John Jenkins, Luke Cornett, Emmanuel Mudiay to free up all that money. So 2-year deals for players like Wayne Ellington, like Bullock, like Bobby Portis, like Taj Gibson there. They are
lots of
keeping Alonzo
forwards,
Trier.
by the way.
I mean, they had no big men outside of Mitchell Robinson entering tonight there. All right, type F, by the way, to pay your respects for the Knicks, because it did not go well for them. I mean, you can spin it however you want and say, look, they got nice role players.
The Woj tweet was pretty epic, trying to spin that there.
Look, they are now competing for the 8 seed.
I don't even.
That's not the end goal.
And I think that's generous. If Randall is as advertised and R.J. Barrett comes in and plays well, maybe in the East, but don't like what they've done.
I also see some L's flowing in. You can do that too. If you
F or L
F or
to
L.
pay respect to the Knicks.
Yeah. All right, folks, move then to Taj Gibson. He's going to sign a 2-year, $20 million deal. Okay.
Don't get this.
It's all just kind of like, okay.
Don't get it on either side. It's clearly Gibson's money chasing here because he knows he's
Hey,
not
get the
winning.
bag, Taj. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, kudos to him. He's made a ton of money in his career, though. I'm surprised he wasn't more of an option for the Lakers or the Clippers or a team that can contend. But clearly he's chasing the money, and the Knicks are willing to pay it.
Let's move on to Ed Davis, and I have some concerns about Bojan Bogdanović fitting in as a full-time 4, but bringing in Ed Davis to help take some of those minutes in the backup center minutes, I like a lot for the Utah Jazz.
Well, and it's smart for the Jazz because you move on from Favors, so you get basically a slightly poor man's Favors and Ed Davis, a banger inside who can really rebound, can score a little bit. And Bogdanović, his addition is more as a finesse player, a three-point shooter. You kind of stagger those minutes a little bit. I think it was a good day for the Jazz.
No, I like what Utah's done there, and if you want to factor in the Mike Conley deal as well, they're huge.
I mean, I think they're a top 3 team in the West right now.
Probably.
That's a discussion for later, probably,
Yeah.
but with that roster and that
we will
core,
do power rankings down the road here.
Yeah.
Probably once Kawhi signs. All right, Mario Hezonja, he's heading to the Portland Trailblazers. By the way, I actually like this deal a lot.
I mean, for the minimum, I mean, he's never quite reached his potential, but he's kind of slowly improved as his career has progressed. Didn't work out with the Knicks that much, obviously, but Portland kind of stuck cap-wise. Obviously, they just gave the Supermax extension to Damian Lillard. We'll see what they end up doing with Seth Curry. I think they're going to lose him. The Lakers might be in play there.
He's gone. With the minute that they kept Rodney Hood, that meant Seth Curry was gone. I thought Hood was going to be gone anyway. You're bringing Hezonja there. You trade for Kent Bazemore. I'm a little worried about your interior defense there, and even your wing defense after losing.
I think you hope with Nurkic being back,
Yeah.
rim protector can obviously bang inside. I think that's the hope there. And kind of like the Mavericks, the Blazers is you're re-adding Nurkic, right? Where the Mavericks, yeah, they've swung and missed, but you're adding Porzingis to what you had. You have to factor in that Nurkic being back and healthy is an addition in a way for the Blazers as well.
And one last one here, Mike Muscala going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'll make note, by the way, the Nerlens Noel deal is now in limbo.
Yeah, in classic Nerlens Noel fashion, by the way. He does not.
Yes.
Worst representation in the NBA. Turned down a $70 million deal a couple of years ago, and now he's in flux. Obviously, the Thunder are pretty strapped money-wise, so they add kind of a stretch 5, and Muscala can hit some threes. It's just kind of a deep reserve.
Tell you what, if Nerlens does not go back to the Thunder, I think the Lakers make a ton of sense for him.
Yeah.
It'd have to be for like the minimum.
Yeah.
But he's a Rich Paul client, so there you go. All right, folks, what is your favorite animal? I will be honest, I don't know how this started today, but there were cows in the chat everywhere. I don't know if there's like a meme that happened overnight that I missed, or if just one person managed to get the cow going. If you did, congratulations, but there were a lot of cows, so I can only assume that is your favorite animal.
I'm a big lion and gorillas guy.
Okay.
Super random there.
That's
Like
fair.
when I go to the zoo, those are the two animals I want to go, see.
Okay.
Dope animals.
Those
I'm
are
getting
good
some
animals.
laughs in the background.
I don't know
in the
why.
studio,
First
but-
off, you're all laughing, and you all know my wife is a gorilla keeper, a primate keeper at the Dallas Zoo, so
There you
how
go.
dare you all. The correct answer, though, and I have not seen it yet in the chat, I might have missed it, it is an ocelot. They're crepuscular.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of out of left field there.
Ocelots are awesome.
Well, I'm more of a gorillas guy.
Shout out if anyone knows what I'm actually referring to on the ocelot thing there. All right, folks, again, teams with 15+ million in cap space, we're down to 3. Everyone else spent it all.
Yeah,
That burnt a hole in the pocket real quick.
Yeah, Knicks dipping below there now. They're down to about 11, 12 million. Look, it's simple for these two teams. Clippers and Lakers are waiting for Kawhi, and no one knows what the Mavericks are doing.
I don't know what Dallas is doing. And you see all that money, there aren't very many good players available there. Kawhi, Boogie, Danny Green, Marcus Morris, Willie Cauley-Stein, and then it gets really gross, too, with like, I kind of like Kelly Oubre, and then it's like, okay, vet mins to all the rest of these guys.
Yeah, you look at like Cantor there. I think he's a guy that makes sense for the Lakers because they're going to need some backup big help. Could even start with them only having 3 players on the roster.
Boston makes sense for Cantor, too.
Wesley Matthews, I think, makes sense in L.A., just a guy that can hit some threes and defend a little bit for them. You look at a lot of these guys, it kind of makes sense for the Lakers.